Welcome to Win the Day from Back to the Bible. I'm your coach, Pastor Nat, helping you stand firm, stand faithful, and stand on God's Word. And to help you do that, we are going to talk about how not to pray. At a recent Husker football game, I witnessed a disturbing sight. There was this couple, and they were having just a drag-out fight. One person was yelling at the other person. She was yelling at the top of her lungs. I assume what she was doing was trying to make a point while bringing attention to the situation. Now, I have no idea what the nature of the problem was, but I can safely assume that there was a more effective way and even a private way of communicating. You know, at times, I think we communicate with God in some pretty ineffective ways too. What do I mean by that? Let's continue walking with Jesus in Matthew chapter 6, beginning in verse 5. Jesus has some very convicting words about prayer. Jesus said, "Whenever you pray, you must not be like the hypocrites, because they love to pray standing in the synagogues and on the street corners to be seen by people. Truly, I tell you, they have their reward. But when you pray, go into your private room, shut your door, and pray to your Father who is in secret. And your Father who sees in secret will reward you. When you pray, don't babble like the Gentiles, since they imagine they'll be heard for their many words. Don't be like them, because your Father knows the things you need before you ask Him." Jesus says, when you pray, don't be like the hypocrites. Hypocrites implies an actor in a play who would wear a mask. It was a stage show, and that's all it was for these religious phonies. They would go out, they would pray on the public corner, hoping that everyone would see. Now, I hope you realize that Jesus isn't condemning public prayer. Praying in public, in a church, on the corner, in the airport, or wherever is not the issue. The real issue is pride. You see, there was this desire for recognition. There was a desire for applause from the witnesses. It's much like what Jesus shared about yesterday when He taught on giving. Motives really do matter, and they matter to God. That's why Jesus says, go pray in a closet. It forces us to be focused on Him and not on who is watching us. But then He gives perhaps an even more convicting statement on prayer in verses 7 and 8. He says, don't babble on like Gentiles. Now, when I read that, I was like, well, what does that mean? That's such an odd statement. But what Jesus is getting at is He is saying, don't just say words to say them. Don't say empty words. Don't pontificate to impress God. He's not impressed. And don't just give the old rub-a-dub-dub thanks for the grub. That's just babble. What we need to do is learn to talk with God. We need to learn to speak with God like anyone else. I mean, if I tried to talk to my kids like I often talk to God, they would think that I'm nuts. They would think that I'm clueless, that I'm a robot. God desires us to talk with Him for His glory. He desires for us to spend quality time with Him. God's looking for quality. He's not concerned about quantity. He wants intimacy, not obligation. You see, prayer with God is meant to be an intimate and sincere experience. That's why this is my challenge for you today. I just want you to talk with God. Now, this may not be natural at first. It isn't for me. Most conversations, when they start off, they're kind of forced. but over time they become natural and meaningful as time progresses. But you have to start somewhere. So begin today by talking to God bit by bit through each conversation. So I encourage you, connect with God today. This is one relationship you will never regret. When we connect with God with intimacy and quality, we will win the day. Hey, it is Giving Tuesday, and we would love for you to partner with us here at Back to the Bible. Our mission here at Back to the Bible is to move people closer to Jesus each and every day. And today on Giving Tuesday, your donation will go even further. So to donate, go to backtothebible.org. That's backtothebible.org.